Hello. So I've seen other people do these sort of casual live streams, and I thought that they always looked like a lot of fun. So I decided to go ahead and try to do one myself. Um, to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous about trying this because it is my first time doing a solo live stream. Usually it's me and a couple other people, and it's usually a book discussion or something like that. It has a very real, concrete purpose, and it's someone other than just me. But I have seen a lot of people do these. I have seen a lot of people do this sort of casual, chatty live stream, and I thought it would be a lot of fun, so I may as well try it, see how it goes. So hopefully it'll be entertaining for anybody watching. I just thought it would be a fun way to just chat, and feel free to comment in the chat, to leave comments and ask questions and things like that. That is kind of the whole point of this thing. Otherwise, I will just kind of talk about things. I didn't have I have some notes because I, in case not many people end up actually asking, in case not too many people end up asking questions and things like that, I wanted to have some actual topics to talk about, so it's not just me sitting here and staring blankly at the camera. So I guess I will just start a rambling since it's something I do very well. Um, I guess I'll just start by talking about some things that I've been doing lately. One thing that I've really been trying to do lately is get back into, in case you don't know, I actually took a year of Japanese in college, and I absolutely love Japanese. I only took a year because I took it in my senior year, and I was completing I had required, my major required a language. So I took a year of Japanese, and that's all that I got to because then I graduated and I wasn't about to stay at college. So over the last few years, I have not been really keeping up with it very well, and I have forgotten most of it. It's coming back, but I've forgotten most of it, even the very simple. There's like the very basics of reading that doesn't even, like, you've probably heard of kanji, Japanese kanji. Yeah, I forgot the level before that. There's a level before that that you have to learn, and I completely forgot. I didn't completely forget, but I most of the way forgot. Like if I saw they're called kana. If I saw them, I would not be able to read it. I might recognize like one or two here and there, but I was not very good at reading like a full word or anything like that. So lately, I've been getting back into Japanese, and it's been a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying. Like I picked it back up really fast. I think I only studied the katakana for one day for only a couple hours, and I completely memorized them again. And the hiragana, I was actually starting to use my flashcards and try and memorize those again. They came right back. That was really fast too. So I think I can get started on kanji. I actually have this. That was a reach. This is a textbook that we were required to buy for class, but we never actually used it in class since my teacher would give us a whole bunch of handouts and things like that, a lot of worksheets and stuff. So I'm actually going through this to help me remember everything. And I'm on like chapter 4 because gotta start from the beginning. And so I've been having a lot of fun. It's weird. might sound weird that I'm having fun using an old textbook, but I'm really interested in the language, and so I've been having a lot of fun getting back into it. And so that's one of the things that I have been doing lately. Um, I've also obviously been writing, and what am I writing now? Now I'm working on one of my books that I had previously thought was completely done, and I thought it was 100% edited and ready to go. And I have been slowly making a lot of changes to it because the beginning I realized was very, very slow. Um, it was like 30 single spaced pages until they actually got to what is one of the main plot points of the story, because it's a story where kids end up going through a portal to another world. And so it was taking, and I always figure, on the back of the book, it's probably going to say something about how they find this portal. That's always, like, that's what was in the query letter. That's always what I say when people ask me, like, what's your book about? It's about kids who go through a portal to a fantasy world. And so I realized it took me like 30 single space pages, which is roughly, if you don't know, like single spaced in a Word document is roughly, like, it's one double spaced page would be about, depending on the printing, the size of the page and everything, it would be about the size of pie. It's taking way too long to say that one single spaced page in a Word document equals roughly 2 printed pages in a young adult novel. That did not need to take me that long to say. This is what you miss out on when I edit my videos. They take a long time to say very simple things. So it took roughly 60 pages, what would be in the actual novel, for them to get to Portal, basically, and that I realized was way too long. So I cut that time in half. There was all this stuff that I thought I had to establish right at the beginning. I had this idea in my head that everything had to be, it all had to happen right at the beginning because it all had to be introduced right away. And for some reason, my mind was stuck on that idea that it all had to be right away, but it didn't. I was the only person holding myself back. I was the only person who came up with that thought that it had to all, everyone had all the characters. Like, I have a lot of characters. It's a multiple point of view book with a lot of characters. So I had this idea that everything had to happen right at the beginning, and it didn't. So I like cut out a whole bunch of stuff. I cut it to about half the length already. This is what I had done previously. So now I'm going back and adding some other things to it. Like, I wanted to add some more world building to the fantasy world and things like that. So I'm going back and adding stuff, and I'm rereading it again all the way through because every time I reread the book, even though I previously thought it was completely done, I realize that there are other things that I could try to find out where the spot is where you can see how long it's been going on, but I'm not seeing that. Huh. I was saying something. Um, yeah, so basically I'm going back and rereading it because every time I reread it, I find things, like just simple sentence things, and I was like, oh wait, that sentence could be better. I thought it was done before, but you can always improve upon your word, your sentence structure, and word choice, and things like that. So it's probably good that I am going through it another time because I'm finding just like tweaking it a little bit. And the more you do that, the better the end result will be. I'm going to try and figure out if there's a way I can see how long it's been going on. As you see, I am a complete pro at all of this. Oh, I think I can just click this. Oh, now I see myself. Okay, it started 10 minutes ago. That was weird. I went back and I played the video and I saw myself from like the future. Kind of. I don't know. I don't think it was. It was from the past. I saw myself in the past. So that was interesting. Okay. So that's what I've been doing writing wise. So I'm trying to think what else would be interesting to share since I don't have any questions right now. Um, okay, so I feel like I should talk about something that we don't talk about very often or really ever on my channel. I do have a video coming up about this. I have a video about TV and my all-time favorite TV shows. Um, I think that video is set for because I've already filmed it, but the way I plan things way in advance. I like bulk film 3 to 4 videos at a time, a little backstage, behind the scenes, I guess. Um, some behind the scenes information on how I do things is I usually will film 3 to 4 videos at a time, whenever my battery allows. My battery gives me 2 hours of battery life, but sometimes my videos end up like 40 minutes of footage, which is how it's pretty impressive that I'm able to cut them to like 15 minutes, which I still feel like is a little bit on the long side for a video, and I'm trying to make my videos shorter, but it gets to the point where I cut out so much that I feel like the video is boring and I'm not really like I'm saying the information, but I feel like I don't know, I feel like if I cut too much then it's just going to be very boring. Um, and where is that going? Oh yes. So I bulk film videos, and I do that, and then I plan which videos I want according to my filming schedule, and so I think, and then I mark them on the calendar because that's fascinating. Um, so I plan them, and I think I have my all-time favorite TV shows video coming. I want to say in February because I originally wanted it to come out in January, but I decided, but I made my schedule already, and I don't think it's going to be in February. I think it's, oh wait, no, it's not coming in February, it's coming in March, because I know the months. January comes before February, not after. I'm sorry. Um, so the all-time favorite TV shows video is coming in March. But I feel like I can talk about shows that I'm currently watching or have been watching fairly recently, because why not? And let's see, what have I been watching recently? I just finished this Netflix show. I don't know why I keep getting sucked into these shows. I don't know if you watched the Netflix show, what's it called? Lost and Found Music Studios. It's like a G-rated show, and it's a Netflix original, and it's about these kids at a music studio, and they sing and sometimes dance, and there's all this really ridiculous drama. Like Ridiculous, it's not even that good. It's not that great, but somehow I got invested in it and I watched both seasons of it. Like it's just good enough to keep going, and I feel like the second season especially really picked up, and they added a lot of humor to it. So you don't know, I absolutely love anything with singing and dancing. I was really obsessed with Dance Academy, which is another kind of kids themed. I think it was aimed towards like tweens, probably people around 12 years old is what the Dance Academy was aimed for. I'm probably lost and found too now that I think about it. But Dance Academy was good. Like that show was high quality. I'm not even like I love that show so much. I watched all three seasons twice already. I watched it and then I got my mom to watch it and she got really into it because oh if you don't know, probably don't know, I actually she loved ballet when she was younger. And so we she took me and my sister also. We took ballet from I think age 7 to I want to say maybe 16 ish. So we took ballet and we took it from the same instructor that she took it from when she was younger. So a little tidbit. Um, so we like to watch dance shows. The Dance Academy is focused on ballet, so that was fun. But it also had modern dance and stuff in it too, but it did have a lot of ballet in it. So I got her really involved in Dance Academy. Lost and Found not so much because the acting is, I wouldn't say it's the best ever. It's passable. They actually do get better throughout the series. The acting got better. Um, anyway, I got really invested in Lost and Found, and then of course it ended as these things do. And then so when this other show popped out recently, it's called Backstage, and it's still on there right now. It was recommended to me because of all the dancing and singing shows that I watch, and I got really invested in that one too. That one's a 30 episode season, and each episode's like 20 minutes. So I would go through like 4 episodes a day ish, depending what else I was watching. And sometimes I watch. My mom didn't really like that show. Well, I think the dancing actually improved quite a bit later on, so she might have liked it. But yeah, I got really invested. Well, I got pretty invested in it. It takes a few episodes to get into, but there's just all this drama, and the drama is just like not that great. But somehow I got sucked into it. It's weird. Like you just start watching a show because you're kind of bored, and there's really not that much. I'm always looking for something to watch on Netflix because Netflix originals are usually really violent and they don't put out like new shows that often on Netflix. Like once you've gone through and you've watched all of the teen dramas, which I pretty much watched all the teen dramas that are available, I think. Yeah, I've pretty much watched all the teen dramas that are available on Netflix. So once you go through all of those, I don't really like shows that are really violent or gory. So usually, if it's rated mature, I generally try to avoid it. Sometimes I'll watch them if it seems really good, but for the most part, I usually avoid it just because I don't like things that are too violent and stuff. How did I get on this track? Anyway, so I was looking for a new Netflix show to watch, and then I watched that one, and now that one's over too. So I need something to drink. Hold on. So there's that. Ew, I lost a tab. It did go. Oh, yes. So what other shows have I been watching? Oh, I was lucky enough to find um, the first 5 seasons of Smallville at the thrift store. So I was really excited because I have watched Smallville before, but I watched it years ago, so I don't even remember how many years ago I watched it. And so I found it for like $5 a season, and so now I'm watching that again. And it's really fun because I have a whole bunch of TV shows that I own on box set in my collection, and a lot of them I do rewatch quite often. So I'll rewatch a show, but I'll, I'll already kind of know, you know, I'll kind of already know what's going on in the show and stuff like that. Um, but Smallville is really fun because I actually don't remember the episodes very well since I literally only watched them one time. I think only one time, and so it's kind of like watching it for the first time, which is really interesting. So I'm really enjoying myself watching that one. Uh, Clark looks so young because I've watched all 9 seasons of Smallville. So it's really funny going back to the beginning when they're all in high school and everyone looks so little and Clark looks so little, and it's just so much fun to see them all. Like, why you all look so young? It's hilarious. So I've really been enjoying that. Though it is kind of like really a little bit on the dated side because it's a little bit on the dated side because you could tell it's from the 90s. And it's really funny because I just watched an episode where they were talking about a pager. They're like, kids, make sure they're like, kids, put like all your pagers here in the, get rid of all your pagers and things like that. And so that made me laugh so hard because I was like, pagers. This is old. But I love 90s shows. Actually, these 90s or is it early 2000s? It might be early 2000s because that matters. But yeah, it's still funny to see things from that time period because they're like, all right, there aren't cell phones, or most people didn't have cell phones, and you notice that there's a lot of you can get away with a lot when you don't have cell phones because the people aren't able to immediately contact each other, which I think is a reason why I've noticed there are a lot of shows and things like that purposely take place in like the 80s or the 90s before cell phones because it's just so convenient. You can have your characters get in a whole load of trouble, and you can't be just like making excuses, making excuses for why every single character's phone suddenly dies, or everyone is so forgetful that they leave their phone somewhere. And but that's what you have to do in a modern show. You have to. their phone has to die or they have to leave it somewhere because then they can't call for help. But if it's in like the 90s, nobody had cell phones all the time, and so they can't call for help. Which that's why I think it's funny when people purposely have their shows or movie take place in an earlier decade because they're like, that way we don't even have to deal with the whole problem of people not being able to get in touch with each other. Uh, yeah, so that's kind of funny. Other things like the special effects sometimes aren't the best, but it's still such a fun show, and yeah, I really enjoy it. It's like right now it's still at like the episode of the week type thing where I'm pretty sure later on they end up having a more continuous plot throughout the entire like a seasonal arc, if you will, that goes across the whole season. But right now I'm still in like the episode of the week things, and so it's still really entertaining. The last episode I watched was the best, but overall it's still a very good show, and I highly recommend it if you have not seen Smallville. It's not on Netflix though, which is sad, and it really should be on Netflix. But if you can find some other place to watch it, it is a really fun show to watch, and I really like it. And so that's just my opinion. So I think I'm yeah, I think it's almost been like 25 minutes now that I've been on here. So I might just call it a night. Um, yeah, because I'm sure I still have things to talk about, but I don't want this to go on for way too long. And again, I don't really have any questions here on the chat. So I might try again another time and see if maybe more people are available or more people. If you watch this, like after it's already over, then please comment below like what kind of a time you would like me to do a live stream. If you comment a day of the week and time that is would be good for you, because I thought that maybe people would be available on Friday, but maybe there are other live streams going on right now or something. So I will definitely try this again at some point. Um, but I think I'm probably going to call it a night for now because I was hoping maybe more people would hop on, but apparently they do. Uh, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this random live stream thing of me just rambling about things. I might call this like a favorites video or something because I'll just be talking about random stuff that I'm doing. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you come stumble across this video at some point in the future, thank you so much for watching, and please comment below a time that you would like me to do live streams, and that would be great. So, I will see you later. Bye!